Nothingness, non-existence, allness. It is answer to the chains of thought. Our friends. Nothingness equal is to efface oneself from one's own self. Non-existence equal is becoming non-existent of the self in the self. Allness equal is to claim one's essence self, is to discover one's self in one's own self. Now, let us disclose them, one by one. 1. Nothingness is the teaching system of the first totality of all truthful. Here, to get rid of the individual egos as a result of an operation made parallel to the evolutionary scales is the applied operational plan of the programs of attaining universal consciousness, and under the light of this consciousness, to efface one's self from one's own self, to become purified, to transcend, to attain. 2. Non-existence. The field between the first totality and the second totality is called the subtle dimension, that means between two totalities of truth. Those who dive into the consciousness of that very dimension are lost in the consciousness of non-existence. In this dimension, your entire self and your cellular awareness attain such a whole that you become non-existent in yourself. You can receive the permission to pass to the second totality of truth only after you attain this awareness of non-existence. This is the very reason why this dimension is called the dimension of non-existence. 3. Whereas, allness is your claiming, as a totalistic consciousness, your light of consciousness and self which have been lost in this dimension of non-existence. This is a boundary of attaining one's own essence self, of claiming one's own being, and the gate of the second totality of all truthful opens after this very dimension. Each consciousness who attains the entire evolutionary fulfillment, religious and universal, of the first totality receives the permission to pass to the subtle dimension. In this dimension, one becomes non-existent. And one attains the totality within this non-existence. And only afterwards, can you enter the second totality of truth. In this very totality, you, from then on, appear with your genuine guise. Your consciousness light sheds light on eternities, not to be turned off ever again, and from then on, you become the sovereign of yourself. Even though these boundaries are easy to articulate, they are mediums very difficult to attain. During this final dimension of transition, it is our greatest wish that everyone can attain himself/herself without turning off his/her light of consciousness, and that he/she can kindle the torch of the morrows. All evolutionary and universal operations made on this path are investments made towards humanity's attaining this consciousness light. It is presented for your information. Center. Note. 1. Evolutionary equal progress through religion. 2. Universal equal progress through learning.